This is FE Peer Review. The date is December the 29th. Engineering is science that works. I was reading through some of the comments on a recent SC Toon show debate between MC Toon and Raichi. And I was just glancing through some of the comments and came across this interesting comment exchange. Ari Valvati wrote, "Imagine being a fully grown adult in 2021 and believing in FE and all the infantile crap that goes along with it. If they had an ounce of self-awareness, they'd crawl under a rock for the rest of eternity." And my eye drifted down to a response from Sleeping Warrior. Imagine being a fully grown adult in 2021 and still thinking that gravity is a force when you know Einstein redefined it into an effect, but you ignore him and think it's a force anyway. That's some seriously crazy nonsense. Well, I thought I would share a thought with Sleeping Warrior, and my comment is below, but I've rewritten it in larger text on the following screens, so I'll read from those. I have a master's degree in structural engineering. I designed infrastructure projects, pipelines, water treatment tanks, big ones, hundreds of feet long and dozens of feet deep, and industrial buildings. I did also a few highway bridges. All my engineering education and all my engineering work was based entirely on Newtonian mechanics. I was never required to and never bothered to study general relativity. I was too busy with required coursework. I've studied it a bit since. My experience is typical of the vast majority of structural engineers who have designed our global infrastructure. And it all works just fine. Buildings stand up, pipelines don't burst at the joints, water tank walls don't collapse, and it all works just fine because Newton was right. At the scale in which we live our lives, any slight inaccuracy in Newton's work is so small that it is literally imperceptible. The innate variability of the natural materials we typically work with, steel, concrete, clay brick, wood, their innate variability has many orders of magnitude more influence on the results than relativistic effects. That's reality. If you have a problem, then explain to me what are the internal stress distributions in a steel-reinforced concrete beam, simply supported, and carrying only its own weight and an evenly distributed load. This is about the simplest problem there is in structural design of concrete. Explain it without reference to any of Newton's work. Use general relativity if you want to, or some other system. But I want a complete and quantified answer that includes axial shear, bending, and torsional stresses and strains from initial loading until failure. That's all, folks.